Challenges to the final certification of a Joe Biden White House victory have not been entirely vanquished. We have some possibilities in tonight's program that could still put President Trump over the top. Trump legal advisor Jenna Ellis joins us for that. And in D.C. we go. It is a city filled with ruling class politicians who are far more out for themselves than they are the people. The proof can be seen in what is now unfolding in Washington. President Donald Trump single-handedly transformed the old guard establishment Republicans into fighters. With the president in their corner, he gave them the confidence to push back against the liberal media. He showed them how to snarl at Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. And for 4 years, Republicans became winners. Sadly, I'm now seeing signs these old guard Republicans, especially those in the United States Senate, are not only falling back to their old pansy ways, but they seem almost eager to get there. Unfortunately, I am forced to put Senator Mitch McConnell on the top of this list. A man who was just starting to earn my respect now is once again quickly losing it. The Hill is reporting McConnell reportedly is urging GOP senators to, quote, refrain from objecting to the electoral votes when it comes time to count them in Congress next month. Republican Senator Roy Blunt and Senator John Thune apparently are insisting, along with McConnell, it's a, quote, terrible vote for the GOP. They say they'd have to vote the objection to the Electoral College results down, which makes it seem then like they're anti-Trump. Well, I'm so sorry about that. Let me make this clear. The vote has nothing to do with President Trump. It has to do with what is right. With all of the evidence of voter fraud in these swing states and the lack of a real investigation into the allegations that include backdating ballots, a truck full of mail-in ballots disappearing, running ballots through tabulators multiple times, illegal ballots cast, as well as all the allegations of compromised voting machines. There is no way a reasonable person can certify the election results as legitimate. They may be, but they most certainly may not be, which is what I tend to believe. Still, McConnell and his go-along to get-along gang would rather push it all under the rug and move on down the line without the very man who taught them how to win, President Trump. It's all pretty typical in Washington, and it disgusts me. Republican Congressman Mo Brooks is planning on objecting to next month's vote on the Electoral College results. He needs just one GOP senator to join him in order to launch the challenge successfully. Mo Brooks detailed one reason why he plans on challenging the electors' votes for Joe Biden.
Voting in American elections by illegal aliens and other non-citizens is so out of control that Joe Biden openly solicited the illegal alien bloc vote and support with a promise of amnesty and citizenship if they helped him get elected president.
Now, is anybody surprised by that? No. We know, as independent groups have proven, that thousands of illegal alien ballots have been cast during this election. Add dead voters to the list, and even people who voted twice in different states. All of this is reason why Congressman Brooks wants to challenge the Electoral College. As you can imagine, the left is aghast at that prospect.
It's shocking. It is absolutely shocking that they would continue in their efforts to do what I consider the highest form of voter suppression. We've never seen anything like this.
I think that Mo Brooks is being what I consider to be a very non-patriotic person.
Well, in fact, I would argue just the opposite. Mo Brooks is fighting a battle we know he has little chance of winning in Congress, but he fights it because he is a patriot. If you want to call someone unpatriotic, I would turn to the Republicans that are now refusing to back Mo Brooks because they don't want to look bad. It's another example of self-interest over national interest that the American people are oh so fed up with. So even though Mitch McConnell seems to be giving up, the Trump legal team most certainly is not, and they say there is still a path forward. Here with details, Trump's senior legal advisor and attorney for the president, our good friend Jenna Ellis. Jenna, good to see you. Welcome back to the program.
Great to see you, Grant. Thanks.
So, Jenna, what's on the agenda this week? Take me right to it. What is the battle plan here?
Yeah, well, of course, with all of the evidence that now has come out, and also significantly the amicus brief that was filed in Pennsylvania by their House and Senate admitting to the U.S. Supreme Court that the laws in the administration of the 2020 election in Pennsylvania weren't followed, there are now admissions from state legislatures that the laws were broken. So it's incumbent upon the state legislatures to take back their delegates and to only certify to Congress by January 6th the slate of electors that actually represents the will of the people in their states. And these are Republican-led states. There should be absolutely no reason why they don't have the courage to do this. And, I find it so incredibly hypocritical and absurd, Grant, that, people like Maxine Waters and all of these Democrats who championed the impeachment hoax, who, led all of these false and fraudulent efforts and tried to manipulate the system against President Trump, are now somehow saying that election integrity challenges to enforce the constitutional process, to make sure we follow the rule of law, that somehow that is tearing down democracy. These people have no idea that the United States of America is all about rules and our supreme rule of law, not a nation of these petty tyrant rulers like the Democrats.
Jen, I expect it from Maxine Waters and that crew. But, from Republicans in these state legislatures across the country, it's as if somebody walked in the room, flipped the light switch on, and like cockroaches, they all scurry to the corners and try to hide in the shadows. We really do have a lack of courage. Is there any hope that the state legislatures in these swing states will step up and do what is right?
I really hope so, and I continue to believe that they will find the courage over the next couple of weeks before January 6th to do their job. And, frankly, I don't think that any of these state legislatures had any idea of their obligation and their plenary power, which means their absolute power under the Constitution, until Mayor Giuliani and I went to these hearings and spoke to the state legislatures and informed them of their duty and their obligation. And so even though they may not have signed up for this job when they ran for state legislature, there have been times in every American's life and in every moment in American history where certain Americans are called upon to continue to preserve and protect our nation and liberty and justice for all. And these Americans may not have realized that that was what they were going to be called upon to do, but they need to step up and they need to take courage. And instead of believing the blatantly false political narrative that this is just about overturning the election to put Donald Trump back in office, that's not the point. The point is to make sure we protect the constitutional process and we don't allow corruption to reign. If they can't do that, then we have the most weak Republicans across these 6 states, and I'm embarrassed to be a part of the Republican Party. I'm part of the American Party under President Trump, and we will keep America great.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, we're right there with you, and I want people out there that have the power to do something to actually stand up and do it. I mean, this is history in the making, and they have the chance to be absolute heroes, and they're squandering it. Jenna Ellis, as always, it is good to see you. Thank you so much for what you